I leave flyers sometimes, handwritten ones, just a few words taped to a power pole or left behind at a diner counter. Have you seen something strange? Something you can't explain? Tell me your story. No phone number, no reward. Just a return address and a promise I'll listen. This one came in a plain manila envelope. 3 typed pages, no name, no signature, just a date written in blue ink at the top, March 3rd, 1994. What follows is that letter. I haven't changed a word. It's a small house, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. You can hear everything from everywhere. The pipes in the walls, the ticks of the kitchen clock, the creak in the 3rd floorboard down the hall. The wind comes in through the seams, and when it really gets going, the whole place breathes like an old man trying to sleep. But it's ours, my daughter and I. She's 5 or 6. I forget sometimes. Mornings start the same way. I make her eggs. Over easy if we have them. Scrambled if I'm out of practice. She picks her plate, always the blue one with the little spiderweb crack on the edge. We sit in the living room, her knees tucked under her like a cat, both of us watching cartoons on the old set with the warped screen. She laughs at the same parts every time. The living room's so small you can almost see all 4 walls without turning your head. 1 window, 1 lamp, 1 photograph of us framed in popsicle sticks and glitter glue. She made that at school, I think. Or maybe I bought it. I don't remember now. We play games, little ones. I spy, or she asks me riddles she doesn't know the answers to. Last night she asked if birds have birthdays. I told her maybe. She said she wanted to make a cake for the robin that lives in the tree out front. She brushes her teeth before bed. Not after dinner, before bed. That's the rule. I tried to change it once and she cried, so I never tried again. Kids like rhythms. They need them. They keep things in place. She sleeps hard once she's down. Sometimes I just sit in the hallway and listen through the wall. The sound of her breathing is the only thing in this house that doesn't move with the wind. I used to wonder what it'd be like when she got older. Now I try not to think that far ahead. There's comfort in repetition. And in this house, everything repeats. The walls groan. The kettle whistles. The TV hums when you turn it off but don't unplug it. Her footsteps come the same way down the hallway every morning. 1 fast, 2 slow, pause. Then the bathroom light flicks on. It's a kind of music. I know every note by heart, and when one goes missing, I'll hear it. That's the kind of house this is. Evenings are our quiet time. We don't go out much. There's nowhere to go, really. Not unless you count the gas station 2 miles down the gravel road. Most nights, it's the 2 of us on the couch, TV on low, her leaning against my side, blanket around her shoulders. I let her pick the channel, even though it's always the same one. Some nights I'm not even watching. I just like being near her. It's the one time of day when everything feels still. The room's small enough you can see everything from the couch, the coat rack by the door, the heater vent beneath the window, the hallway that runs past the bathroom and both bedrooms. There's not a lot to it, but it's easy to keep track of. I like that. I like knowing where everything is. That's why I noticed it right away. It was during a cartoon. Something about ducks, I think. She was talking about the colors, laughing between bites of popcorn. Her legs were tucked up under her. Then, just past her head, out of the corner of my eye, something moved. It wasn't a noise, not a chill, just a shift. Right there at the top of the hallway, near the bathroom door, like someone had been standing there, watching. It pulled back just before I turned. It wasn't dramatic. No flash of shadow, no sound. But it was too high, just above the doorframe. Too high for a person. Too wrong for furniture or reflection. I turned my head. Nothing there. The hallway was empty. Light bulb still flickering in the hall closet like it always does. No sign of anything being out of place. I didn't say anything. She hadn't noticed. No need to scare her, but I didn't forget it. The next night, it happened again. Same spot. same movement. That quiet lean, that slow pullback, almost like it had waited for me to look, then ducked away at the last second. And the night after that, not the hallway this time, but the corner above the kitchen sink. Always high, always just out of sight, always when she was close by. I started making notes. Not full sentences, just enough to keep it straight. Tuesday, top of hall. Thursday, above fridge. Saturday, felt it before I saw it. I thought about telling someone. Not a doctor. I'm not losing it. Just someone who might listen. But then, I'd have to explain her too. And I don't think I could. So I kept it quiet. Started scanning the edges of things instead. Watching the corners, the seams of door frames, the gaps where ceilings meet walls. You can tell when a room has changed. Even if nothing's moved, you can feel when something's looking back. She asked me once why I stare off so much now. I told her I was just tired. She believed me. It started with the glass. We were sitting on the couch, just like always. She had the blanket up to her chin and a sippy cup of water. But I had poured myself something in one of the short glasses we keep on the coffee table. It wasn't more than a foot off the floor. Thick carpet underneath. I wasn't moving. Neither was she. And still, somehow, the glass tipped. It didn't roll. It didn't wobble. It fell clean off the table. Hit the carpet with a sound I still can't explain. Not a crack or a dull thud. A pop, like pressure releasing. She flinched. Looked at me like I'd done it. I told her not to move. Scooped her up. Brushed her off. Smiled like it was nothing. Like these things happen. The bottom had blown out of the glass completely, like it had shattered from inside. There were pieces buried in the carpet. I spent half the night picking them out with my fingers. That's when she started getting quieter. Not silent, just less talkative, less present. She still watched her cartoons, still sat beside me. But it felt like she was further away somehow. The next time, it was the knife. We were back in the living room again, halfway through a rerun. She was laughing at something. Her old laugh, the kind that comes out in fits and gasps. I had left it on the edge of the sink after slicing an apple. Not ideal, but I'm not careless. She was louder that night, brighter, like something had lifted off her, just for a moment. I turned my head for a second to see what rerun was playing and heard it. The unmistakable scrape of metal hitting linoleum. I found the knife on the floor, just behind the couch, too far from the sink to have just dropped. She hadn't moved. She was still sitting cross-legged on the rug. But she was staring at me like I'd done something wrong. I told myself I was tired, that I'd left it there by mistake, that I was misremembering. That's what I wrote in the notebook. A few days later, I found the elephant. Her old one. Blue, plastic, one ear rubbed nearly smooth from how much she used to carry it around. Its eyes were scratched, just a little, like someone had dragged it across a wall. I was sure I'd boxed it away, months ago, might have even taken it to the attic. But there it was, sitting at the foot of the stairs, upright and facing me, like someone had taken it out and placed it there for a reason. I picked it up and turned it over in my hands. I asked her about it that night. She shrugged, didn't look up, didn't ask for it back. She just said, "It's not mine anymore." Her voice sounded thinner, like it was trying to stretch across a distance I couldn't see. That night, I placed the elephant on the shelf in her room and pulled the covers up to her chin. She didn't wake, didn't move, and for just a moment, just long enough for my brain to grab the shape of it, I thought I saw something looking in at us from her doorframe. From the hallway, I glanced back toward the living room, where the jumbled noise of the TV was still spilling into the walls. That's when I saw it. Not in the corner of the room, not on the ceiling, in the top right corner of the doorway. Something was there, in the frame, just where the wall meets wood, like it had lodged itself sideways, suspended in a way that didn't make sense. Only part of its face was visible, just enough to catch the light. Dim, grayish reflections where eyes should be. Hair hanging down like hers, cut short just above the shoulders. It didn't move, but I felt it looking. When I tried to look straight on, just when I blinked, it was gone. I whispered something, but I don't remember what. Maybe it was her name. Maybe it was just my own breath catching in my throat. I didn't turn on the light. I walked back to the kitchen and sat at the table until morning. The notebook's full now, mostly with reminders. Things like, be careful, don't leave things on the edge, stay awake, watch the corners. I whisper those things now, not like prayers, more like apologies. She hasn't asked what I'm whispering, but she doesn't hum anymore either. She still talks to me sometimes, usually in the morning, when the house is lit just enough to make you think everything's still normal. She'll ask for toast or tell me what cartoon she wants. She still picks the cracked blue plate. She still kicks her heels against the couch when she eats. But it's different now. Her voice feels lighter, like there's less behind it. I don't know how else to say it. She's here, but less. She asked me yesterday where robins go in the winter. I told her south. She asked me again an hour later. Same tone, same words. I think I gave a different answer the second time. That evening, I heard her voice from the kitchen while I was folding laundry in the hallway. She was supposed to be in the living room watching TV. The cartoon was still playing. I froze. The voice was faint, but it was hers. The lilt, the cadence, the little upward lift at the end of her questions. She was saying something about peanut butter. I stepped into the kitchen. No one was there. I walked back into the living room, and she looked up at me like I was the one being strange. I asked her what she needed. She said, nothing. I didn't say anything. She sounded distant, like she'd just woken up from a nap. Later that evening, I saw her outside, just past the window in the tall grass near the propane tank. She was crouched low, knees in the dirt, poking at something in the grass. Her pajamas, the purple ones with the faded cartoon print, looked soft in the moonlight. She was humming. It was quiet, but I could hear it. The same tune she used to hum when she played by herself. And for a second, I smiled. It felt like her, like something had returned. Then she stood up, and everything shifted. Her arms were too long, not broken or grotesque, just stretched in a way that made no sense. Her fingers curled like they were remembering a shape they'd never held. The legs, bent, moving like something trying too hard to walk like us. And the head tilted toward the window, slow and mechanical. Hair just like hers. Cut short, still. But whatever was behind that hair wasn't my daughter. It was dragging her toy, the old wind-up rabbit, in a slow circle at its side, turning it like it was waiting for something, watching me. I stepped back, closed the curtain, didn't say anything, didn't ask her if she'd gone outside earlier. The next morning, I found the rabbit inside, placed neatly at the foot of the stairs. She didn't mention it, just sat on the couch, eating toast in silence. I don't know how long she's been like this. Some mornings, I catch her humming in the next room, or maybe I think I do. It's always faint, always the same few notes, like the memory of a song that's too quiet to finish. She doesn't talk much anymore. I'll say something over breakfast and she'll nod, maybe smile, but I don't always remember what she said back, or if she said anything at all. I pass the bathroom sometimes and hear the water running, but I don't remember turning it on. And when I check, it's already off. There's a smell in her room now. Not bad, just faint. Old dust, warm fabric. The kind of stillness you only notice in places that haven't been touched in a while. Her bed is always made when I check, but I don't remember tucking the sheets in. Her books are lined up the way she liked them, tallest to shortest. But I swear they were out of order last week. Maybe I fixed them. Maybe she did. Maybe they were never moved at all. The elephant hasn't moved from the shelf. but sometimes I find myself staring at it like it's new, like I've never seen it before, or like it's waiting for me to remember something. I still set her plate out every night, still fold her pajamas. She doesn't always wear them, but I leave them at the foot of her bed anyway. One day, she went outside to play. I heard the screen door creak, heard the hinges catch the way they always do when it opens too far and doesn't close right away. There was a little laugh, just for a second, the kind she used to make when she found something small and wonderful in the grass. I could picture it, her crouched near the steps, poking at a beetle or chasing one of the frogs that come up from the ditch this time of year. That soft kind of joy, the kind that doesn't need an audience. I didn't look right away. I remember thinking how warm the sun looked through the window. That kind of honeyed morning light that makes everything feel slower. I looked out after a minute. The rabbit toy was on the step. No sign of her, but I assumed she'd wandered off a little, the way she sometimes did. I called her name. Not loud, just enough to carry. Nothing. But that's normal sometimes. I finished breakfast. Her plate was still clean when I cleared the table. I remember wondering if she'd eaten already or just wasn't hungry. The day moved like any other. I folded laundry, put her shirts away in the second drawer. I swept the hallway, wiped the dust from the tops of the frames. I passed the bathroom on my way back down the hall. The door was cracked slightly, light off inside. I didn't mean to look. I really didn't. But something was there. High up, in the doorframe, wedged into the space just above the hinges, like it had pressed itself sideways into the architecture and decided to stay. I only caught the edge of it. A shoulder maybe, or an arm, longer than it should have been, bent in the wrong place. And hair, hanging down over the edge, short and still, just like hers. I kept walking. Didn't stop, didn't breathe, just told myself she was playing, that kids climb into strange spaces sometimes. When I walked past her room, the door was open. Bed made, curtains drawn, nothing moved. Her pajamas were still laid out at the end of the bed, right where I left them the night before. Still folded, still untouched. I picked them up, held them in my hands for a minute, and set them back down. I thought about opening her closet, but didn't. By the time it got dark, I'd set the table for dinner. 2 plates, 2 cups. I even poured hers first, like I always do. She didn't come to the table. I told myself she was tired, that she must have fallen asleep in her room with the light off. Kids do that. They forget to say goodnight. I left her food on the table and washed my plate. Sat in the chair beside the window for a while. Watched the dark. Didn't see anything. Didn't go outside. I didn't need to. I checked her room again before bed. Still untouched. The elephant was on the shelf, facing outward. I don't remember turning it. I turned off the hall light and walked back to my room. The floor creaked like it always does. That same board near the door, always one quick pop. I remember thinking how quiet it was. Not in a bad way, just still. I didn't write anything in the notebook. I thought about it. But what would I say? There's nothing to report. She went outside. She'll be back in soon. I woke up just before dawn. Didn't set an alarm. Didn't need one. The hallway was quiet. The house had that stillness it gets in winter, even though it wasn't winter. Just dry air and soft light that felt too still, like everything was holding its breath. I poured 2 bowls of cereal. Hers got more milk, like always. I sat them on the table. One was touched, the other wasn't. But I left it there. She doesn't always eat first thing anymore. Or maybe she already did. I can't remember. The house makes more noise lately, just little reminders. A creak, a door nudging closed. The soft scrape of a chair leg shifting slightly out of place, and I hear her sometimes. Not clearly, not full words, just movement. Footsteps on the hallway carpet. the rustle of clothes, sometimes the faintest humming behind a door that doesn't open. She keeps her door closed now. She's getting older. She wants privacy. That's what I tell myself. But last night I passed her door and something stood just behind it. Not fully visible, just a silhouette, too tall. Arms not hanging, reaching. I stopped, then walked on. I threw out her toothbrush last week. It had gone soft. She must have gotten a new one. I think she left it in her room. I haven't checked. I also packed up a pair of shoes that don't fit her anymore. Little pink ones with the strap across the top. She used to love those. But kids grow. That's a good thing, even if they grow a little strange. The photos from the mantle are gone. I think I put them away. Just for now. We don't need them right now. We're making new memories. Sometimes I talk to her before bed, just a little to say goodnight. She doesn't always answer, but I hear her moving. Once, I heard her laugh. Just one short breath, like a hiccup. I didn't check. Yesterday, I saw her at the end of the hallway. Or, I think I did. Just a glimpse. 1 foot already around the corner. The shape was right. The pajamas, the hair. She was walking slowly, maybe tired, maybe distracted. But something about the arm, the way it moved. It bent too early, hung a little low. The elbow faced the wrong way. I think she was holding something. A picture. It's on the fridge now. Crayon, blue and yellow and red. Our house and the sun, and 2 stick figures holding hands. One is me, tall brown hair. The other is her, I think. The arms are too long. The head is shaped strange. But she signed it in the corner. The letters are off. Not quite right. But it's her name. I remember when she drew it. Must have been yesterday. It makes me smile, so I leave it there. And I don't need the notebook anymore. I know where she is now. She's home. The house isn't quiet anymore. It breathes. Floorboards settle in patterns. Cabinets shift. A window opens just enough to let in the sound of wind that doesn't move the trees. I found one of her drawings in my sock drawer this morning. It was folded neatly, like a letter. Stick figures again. Just us. She drew the hallway too. And the closet door. It was open. I think she wanted me to see that, so I went to the closet, the one at the end of the hall. It was darker inside than it should have been. The bulb flickered when I pulled the chain, then held steady. At first it looked empty, just coats and blankets. But behind them, a pile. Things that should have been in her room. Things that should have been outgrown or passed down or kept safe in a box somewhere. Her favorite pajamas. The purple ones with the faded cartoon print. The old birthday card I helped her write to her grandmother. The one she couldn't spell right. A photograph of us at the lake. Just the 2 of us. But the face was smudged. All stacked together. Carefully, like someone was collecting. And there, on top, the shoes with the pink strap, the ones I packed away. I crouched to look closer, reached forward. That's when I heard it. Crying, coming from the living room. A cartoon was playing. One of the old ones. The ones she used to watch when she was sick. I stood, backed away from the pile, turned toward the hall. And there she was, just at the edge of the doorway to her room. Half visible, not moving, hair hanging down, just like hers. Too still, too straight. She was watching me. I blinked. She was gone. I turned back to the closet. It was closed, locked. The chain swayed once, stopped. I turned again. The hallway was empty, but I could still hear the cartoon and someone breathing. She walks the hallway now. I hear her more clearly these days. Not just movement, but pacing, purpose. She opens doors, closes them. I hear the bathroom faucet run for exactly 6 seconds at a time. Sometimes she stops outside my room. She doesn't knock, doesn't speak, but the air changes. It presses in, like something leaning against the other side of the door, waiting. Once I looked. Just once. The door was cracked half an inch, just enough to see the shadows weren't where they should be, just enough to see fingers, too many, too long, tapping gently at the frame like she was counting. I closed the door, locked it. She didn't leave right away. The floor doesn't creak beneath her feet, but I know she's there. The days blur, or maybe it's just one long day now. We wake up when we need to, eat when we're hungry. The lights flicker sometimes, but that's just the wiring. I don't leave the house. Haven't in a while. There's nothing out there I need. Everything I need is here. She's here. I think she's grown. She's taller than I remember. I hear her brushing her teeth now. She still laughs sometimes, low and soft, like she's holding it back. I took down the mirror in the hallway. It wasn't showing her anymore, and I didn't like what it showed me. We had dinner together last night, or I did. I made hers. It was gone when I came back to clean up. Her chair was pushed in neatly. There was something under the table, something I couldn't quite see. I didn't bend down to check. The notebook is gone. I don't know when I stopped writing in it. Maybe she took it. It doesn't matter. I don't need reminders anymore. The house is full, warm even. Sometimes she hums. Sometimes she stands in the hallway, just outside the edge of the light. She hasn't said my name in a long time, but she's home, and that's enough. I left a flyer in a town that doesn't get visitors, just a few questions and a phone number. A week later, a padded envelope arrived. Inside was a typed manuscript. The pages were soft at the edges, worn from being handled. There was no return address, just a note. One day I'll see her again. I looked him up. The daughter's name was listed on a death certificate from 1994. She was 5. The house, just beyond the fence, was condemned in 2003, but the lights were still on.